We have discussed the basic operations in NumPy, and now we are going to deal with this 1D array, 2D array, and 3D array. So now the entire NumPy will be started here from the in-depth logics. So if you observe here very carefully, this is known as a one-dimension array. See here, it is having only one row, but the columns are 4 columns is there. I told you already, there is no matter in the columns, only the row will be explained that how many dimensions are there here. If you observe here the shape here, see carefully. What is this for? It is nothing but it's showing the columns. If you observe here in the 2-dimension array, 2 rows are there and 3 columns are there. And what I am doing, I am passing a shape here. What do you mean by shape here? 2 rows are there and 3 columns are there. So here, if you observe very carefully, listen very carefully, this 3-dimension array, this is the most important in array. With the help of list, we cannot find out the values inside this 3-dimension array, but with the help of NumPy, it is very easy. See here, how many rows are there here? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 rows are there here. Okay. How many columns are there? This is one column, and this is one column, and this is one column. Okay. And what do you mean by 2 here? Okay. See here on the above, how many cube structures are there? 2 are there. Okay. 2 pieces are there. Okay. So this is how the 3-dimension array can be calculated. So I am telling you once again, this 4 is nothing but 4 rows. See this one, 1, 4, 7. This is one row. 2, 9, 7. This is the second row. 1, 3, 0. This is the third row. And 9, 6, 9 is nothing but the fourth row. But you observe the columns here. 1, 2, 1, 9 is nothing but one column. 4, 9, 3, 6 is second column. And 7, 7, 0, 9 is the third column. And if you observe on the above here, there are 2 pieces, like a cake structure is there on the above. 2 pieces are there, and the first piece is nothing but 1, 4, 7. This is known as one array, and 2, 3, 4 is nothing but another shape. So if you observe here very carefully in the shape, 4 rows and 3 columns, it is nothing but it is showing 2 dimensions. It's nothing but a multiple dimension array. It is not a 2D array because I am telling about the cube structure here. Only 2 pieces are there, so I am passing a shape as 2. So we will see the one-dimension array very carefully. See here what I am doing. I am passing a range function. Do you know about everyone know about a range function? Instead of passing a range function in the for loop, what I am going to do here, I am passing a range function in the NumPy with the help of NP. I told you already, if you import once NumPy in your Jupyter notebook for that particular file, it will be accessed everywhere. So I imported import NumPy as an NP. So what I am doing, np dot arrange, which means a range function. I am taking from 1 to 11. What will be the output? 1 to 10 here. So if I am executing it in front of you, see the output will be 1 to 10. Because why? We pass 11 because the arrange function will follow in -1 category. So from 1 to 10 it has been printed very successfully. So here I already told you in the above here somewhere in the beginning of the section only the difference between the 1-dimension, 2-dimension, 3-dimension, as well as the list directly cannot work with the dimensions also I told you. Again we will see completely. See here, this is A1 I am selecting, and the values inside the A1 is nothing but 1 to 10. So if I want to print the endim is, I am again telling you, endim is nothing but endim used for finding the dimensions. Finding the dimensions. So what will be the dimension here? 1. Why? If you observe here this picture, how many rows are there? Only 1 row is there. Here also 1 row is there, no? So it is known as a 1-dimension array. See, with the help of image I am explaining. This is nothing but 1-dimension array. So if you print the shape of A1, see here, only 10 is getting. If you observe here, what is the shape in this image? The shape is nothing but 4, which is saying there are 4 columns. So here also it is going to show 10. What do you mean by 10? How many values are there? 10 are there. So it is going to tell you 10. So this is how we will implement the 1-dimension array with the help of list. So it is very easy 1-dimension array, and we will see about the 2-dimension array here very carefully. Suppose see here, I told you with the help of NumPy we can access directly. I am telling you once again np dot, and I am applying an array value, and I am taking a 2 dimensions. So I am opening 2 square brackets, and I am passing 1, 2, 3, and what I am doing, and I am opening 5, 6, 7. So if I want to execute this, I will print a. See, the array is in the format of 1, 2, 3 as well as in 5, 6, 7. So if I want to find out the dimensions for this, what I will do, just a dot ndim is a keyword, I already told you. And if I execute it, see, the dimensions is nothing but a 2-dimensional array. So here without the help of an array, we will find out the 2-dimensional array. Okay. So what I'm doing here, I'm taking a variable a and I'm passing a operator also is equal to operator. And what I'm doing here, np.arrange function. So arrange function, what I'm doing here, 1 to 61. So if I pass from 1 to 61, it is going to print 1 to 60 only, because arrange function will follow n-1 category. So it goes from 1 to 60. What I'm doing, dot, and I'm reshaping it. What do you mean by reshape here? I'm just reshaping the values. Okay, I'm passing 10 comma 6. Okay, if you observe here, I will tell you very clearly. So a is equal to np dot, I'm passing a range function, I'm taking from 1 to 61. Okay, what I'm doing here, I'm printing a. See here, from 1 to 60 it has been executed successfully. So what I'm doing here is, for a clear explanation, I will take cell below and I will take a variable a is equal to, and what do you mean by 10 into 6? Okay, 10 into 6. If I want to print the value of a, just there itself I am printing a. If I run this cell, see, the answer is 60. How many values are there here? 60 values are there. Here also the output is nothing but 60. So here what I am doing, I am taking the 60 values with the help of arrange function dot, I am reshaping it. What do you mean by reshaping it? I want to reshape this entire list. It is in the form of 1-dimension array. So this 1-dimension array, I want to convert it to 2-dimension array or 3-dimension array, whatever I want. So what I'm doing here, I'm just reshaping the keyword, though this keyword is used to reshape the everything. What I'm passing here, 10 and 6. What do you mean by 10 into 6 here? Nothing but 60. So this 10, the first parameter 10 goes to rows, 10. And the next parameter 6 goes to columns. Okay, if I execute it and if I just print a run condition, so if I want to print the shape, a dot, what do you mean by shape here? 10 rows and 6 columns. Okay, see here, 10 rows and 6 columns is there. So if I want to find out the dimensions, if I execute it, see, the dimensions is nothing but 2 dimensions. So if you want to observe the proper conditions of a, if I execute here, see, np.arrange from 1 to 61 I am printing, and I am reshaping with the help of a reshape keyword. 10 rows I created and 6 columns I created. I am printing a. See here, how many rows are there? This is the first row, second row, third one, fourth one, fifth one, and sixth one, seventh one, eighth one, and ninth one, and 10th. 10 rows are created. If you observe the columns here, this is first column, and the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. So how many rows are there? So 10 rows are there and 6 columns are there. Suppose here 10 into 6 is nothing but 60. Suppose here if I pass 10 comma 7, so 10 into, suppose here also if I pass 10 into 7 is nothing but 70. Okay, but here we are having only 60 values. So 10 into 6 is 60 but not 70. So if I execute it, it is going to give an error for you. So what is the error? Cannot reshape array of size 60 into 10 comma 7. What is going to tell you? 10 into 70 is nothing but 70. So we cannot reshape them into 60. So what we will do? We will just change this 6, and what I'm going to do here also, I just pass 6 keyword. So again from the beginning I will execute it. See, the output is very successful. So how many types are there? That many types we can pass it here. There is no problem. Okay. So instead of passing this 10 comma 6, I will pass 6 comma 10. What will happen? 6 rows will be created, 10 columns will be created. If I execute it, see, 6 rows will be created and 10 columns will be created, because 6 into 10 also is nothing but 60. Why we are taking this 60? See, range function I am passing from 1 to 61 and the output is 60 values are there. So depending upon the data, I am just reshaping each and every value. So here I want to, again, if I want to find out the shape, definitely it is going to show you, instead of 10 comma 6, it will show now 6 comma 10. If I execute it, see, 6 rows are there and 10 columns are there. So what is mean by this? This is a 2-dimension array, 3-dimension array. It is nothing but a 2-dimension array. How can we say that is a 2-dimension array? See, the entire property is in one list, as well as there is an open list, as well as here also one open list. So this say that it belongs to 2-dimension array. If I execute it, see, this is a 2-dimension array. Now here the biggest task. Suppose, so we will keep one example here like this only, 10 comma 6. So it will be very easy for you to understand. And I'm executing the shape and executing the dimensions. Suppose, see here, if I want to access the element this 10, this value 10, with the help of directly list, we cannot access. Suppose, so before going to this cell, I will tell you very clearly what I'm going to do. I'm passing a list here separately, normal built-in data structure. What do you mean by list here? List is nothing but built-in data structures. Okay. Suppose I am passing a is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4. Now what I am doing, I want to access an element here. This third value I want to access. With the help of index positions, we all it is very easy. Suppose I am passing a 2 here, and if I am executing it, see, the output is 3 because the third keyword is holding the index position is nothing but 2. So the output is here. So for the one dimension array, list is following one dimension here. It is directly helpful with the help of index positions. Now my question is, just I am printing this A here. What is the, okay, what I'm doing here, I'm creating an above cell and I'm passing a keyword A. I'm just keep on running A. Okay, this one, I need to execute this one, and now I can execute this one. The output will be this one. Okay, now here I will write the code in front of you. I'm opening a new cell. I want to access this 10th one, 10th keyword. So what I have to do, since if it follows one dimension, we will pass one value, but it is following two dimensions. So first of all, we need to take the rows. So this 10 value is in which row? First row and second row. So it is in second row. So suppose I am passing second row, and at which column the 10 value is holding? Sorry, we need to pass the index positions, not the direct value. So this is holding the first index position. This is for holding the 0th index position. Okay, first index position, and the columns 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so if I pass here 3 and if I execute run, see, the output has been 10. Suppose we will take this 47 now, and with the help of these commands we will see whether it will execute it or not. So what I will do is nothing but I want to access this 47. So it is in which row? 0th row, first row, second row, third row, fourth row, fifth row, sixth row, and seventh row. Okay, okay, it is in seventh row, and we need to check again. We need to check the columns. So this is the first column, second column, third column, fourth column. Sorry, we need to come from 0th position. No? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now if I execute it, output should be 47. See, it has been executed very, very successfully. So this is how we can access each and every element from the two-dimension array. So see, this also follows same. Accessing the value 7 from the two-dimension array. Where is the value here? Nothing but here the value. So first row and 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. See here 1 and 4. It is give the value 11 here. So this is very easy to access the element from the two-dimension array. From one dimension array, we can pass its index position, and for the two-dimension array, we need to pass the index positions for the rows as well as in columns. Okay. Now, what we will do? We will check the sum of array also. What do you mean by sum? What do you mean? Suppose if I am taking one list, I will explain each and everything with the help of list first. Then you'll have a clear idea about the NumPy. Suppose I am taking 1, 2, 3, 4, and what I'm doing, I'm passing sum of a. What do you mean by sum of a? 1 plus 2 is 3, and 3 plus 3 is 6, and 6 plus 4 is nothing but 10. If I run here, see, 10 has been executed successfully. I'm just passing the sum here. Now if I pass 6, what will be the output? Is nothing but 16. See, 16 has been executed successfully. Sum is nothing but each and every value will be find out the sum positions 1 plus 2 and 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus and 6. The output is 16. So what I'm doing here, if you observe very carefully, np dot sum of a with its axis positions. So if I execute this one, this error will, this output will be changed. So what I'm doing here is, so okay, we will create here only. Again we will print because we overwritten a. So what I'm doing here is a is equal to I'm passing a range function, and with the help of a range function, what I'm doing, from 1 to 61 I am collecting dot. I am reshaping it. I already told you what is the useful of reshape. So I am passing 10 comma 6 here, and I am printing the value of a. So see, this is the values. So if you observe very carefully, we check the sum of the array also. Okay, what I'm doing, np dot sum of a is nothing but the variable which is holding this every values, two dimension array values. Now what I am doing here, see, very important, this is in the entire data science community, this is the very important, axis is equal to 1. Here 1 is per row wise. What do you mean by here? Whenever you pass axis is equal to 1, it is going to find out row wise, this wise. Okay, row wise. Okay, this is for numpy only. When you deal with the pandas, axis is equal to, I will write here. Okay, numpy. Okay, we will write like this for numpy, and axis is equal to 1 means rows, and axis is equal to 0 means columns. But it completely different for pandas. Okay, so it will be in the reverse order for pandas. Okay, don't get confused. This is the major difference between the pandas and numpy. Suppose here axis is equal to 0 means rows, as well as an axis is equal to 1 means for pandas. Okay, don't get confused. I am changing here the library name also. Okay, just remind the thing. What I'm doing here, axis is equal to 1 means in the numpy it is nothing but row. So it is going to each and every row. Okay, what we are passing here, a variable a. What do you mean by variable a? This values, entire values. Now what I am doing, sum. What do you mean by sum here? If you observe here, it is going row wise. What do you mean by row wise here? It is going to collect the sum of the first row. 1 plus 2, 3, 3 plus 3, 6, 6 plus 4, 10, and 10 plus 5 is nothing but 15, and this 15 plus 6 is nothing but 21. See, the output is 21. So it is going to collect the sum of the second row. So the output is 57. It is going to collect the sum of third row, 93. Fourth row sum, as well as the fifth row sum, as well as sixth row sum, everything it is going to collect. How many rows are there? 10 rows are there. If you observe here very carefully, 10 values are there. What do you mean by this? It is going to collect each and every sum of a, but with respect to axis of 1. What do you mean by axis of 1? It's nothing but row wise. Okay, it is going to collect each and every row sum individually. So what I'm doing here, again I am passing the sum keyword, and I am passing a, and I am passing axis is equal to 0. I told you axis is equal to 0 is nothing but for columns. So what it will do, 1 plus 7 plus 13 plus 19 plus 25 plus 31 plus 37 plus 43 plus 49 plus 55. So the value is 280. How many columns are there? 6 columns are there. 6 columns of value will be represented here. Okay, now see here very carefully the comment here. We are finding the sum for row individually, and we are finding the sum for column individually. So my question is, I want to find out the sum for entire data here. What we will do, just pass sum of a. Instead of passing axis is equal to 1 and axis is equal to 0, what I will do, I will just pass sum keyword, and I will pass this variable a. Now if you want to see here, what is the value of a here, what is the variable a is holding? So 2-dimension array. So just I want to find out the sum of this. Each and every sum has been calculated. The sum is nothing but 1830. Okay, now another way to find out the sum is nothing but with the help of for loop ranges. What I'm doing here, so instead of finding the sum directly with the help of this keyword, with the help of this for loop also we can find out. I'm taking this total as 0. I'm just passing the range function a dot shape of 0. What do you mean by a dot shape of 0? It is going to collect the first index position shape, as well as the j also it is going to collect, and I'm updating this total. Okay, so it will also give me the same index positions. So this is no need, because we are having this predefined functions. So instead of time wasting with this, we can follow this sum keyword. Okay, I'm just dealing it. So instead of wasting time, we can just pass this sum keyword. Okay, with the help of the sum keyword, we can find out each and every logic, find out the sum. Now this is the best example. See, I told you, with the, for example, if you go to the above image, now we have discussed about 1D array, and we have discussed about 2D array. Now the most important is nothing but 3D array. Okay, we will see how we can handle the 3D array. See, this is how the 3D array will look like. And again I am saying you, so here I am executing this. So this is a 3-dimension. From now we are going to discuss about 3-dimension. Listen very carefully. Now what I am going to do, A is equal to, I am passing np.arange function. You know the value of purpose of using arange function. From 1 to 60 it will be executed. You know everything. Now suppose this is the same command, I will just copy it and I will take a new cell above. So what I'm doing here, I'm just pasting here, and instead of passing this last parameter, what I'm doing here, I'm just passing 10 comma 6. Okay, if I execute here, see this is the output, you know very well. Now what I'm doing here, I'm just keeping the dot here. I want to create this data. This is a 2-dimension data. Suppose if you want to find out, and again a dot ndim, sorry, ndim. If I execute here, see 2-dimension data has been printed very successfully. So if you want to print the array values also, just print a condition and it will also show you. So this is the 2 dimensions. Okay, now so you'll have a clear explanation also with the help of the print condition. Now what I'm going to do, so instead of passing directly, I'm passing finding the dimensions. Now what I'm doing, I'm just keeping a comma symbol, and I'm see the text also represented. If you want this dot symbols also, just put a dot symbols, and if you want to run, see the output is finding the dimensions. For how many dimensions it is, nothing but 2-dimension array. So here what I am doing, I am playing with the 3 dimensions now. Okay, I'm just keeping a text here that working with 3 dimensions. 3 dimensions data. Okay, I'm executing it. So if you want to keep it as a comment, just go to here code, mark it as markdown, and if you want to just reduce the size according to the HTML tags, h1, h2, h3 like that, just keep an another tag here and a start symbol and run here. So see, it has been kept it as an markdown. Okay, now we will discuss about the 3-dimension array. Now np.arrange function from 1 to 60 I have given. If you observe here carefully, instead of passing 10 comma 6, suppose previously for the 2-dimension array, what we are going to do, 10 comma 6 I have been given. So it is going to convert 10 rows and 6 columns. Now in the place of this 10, I am going to pass 5 comma 2. What do you mean by 5 comma 2? 5 into 2 is nothing but 10, and 10 into 6 is nothing but 60. So this 60 values has been satisfied. Okay, if I execute here, we will see the output here. So we will discuss one by one. This 5, if you observe this 5 parameter, how many rows are there? This is the first row, second row, third row, fourth row, and fifth row. Okay, so you will have a, one doubt that each and every one is one row. No, so not like that. If you observe this image, see here, I'm going above. How many cubes are there here? 2 cubes are there. Okay, how many cubes are there? 2 cubes are there. But what we are finding here, we are creating a 3-dimension array. Okay, for that purpose, what I am doing here, I told you already, the first parameter is used for the rows and the second parameter is used for this last one. This 6 is used for the columns purpose, and this first one is used for row purpose, and the second one is for each and every dimensions. So if you observe very clearly, what I am going to do here, 5 comma 2 comma 6. See, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and what I'm doing here is 5. Okay, if you observe this image very carefully, what you are getting here, shape 4 comma 3 comma 2. What do you mean by 4 here? Oh, see here, 4 rows are there, and 3 columns are there, and 2 cubes are there. We already discussed. So here also same, what it is going to happen if you want to create the 3 dimensions. So this 5, what is this 5 is going to do? 5 cubes has been selected individually. Okay, for each and everything you are having 2 lists individually. See, the center from here to here it will be treated as one array, and here to here it will be treated as one array, here to here it will be treated as one array, like that. 5 are there, 5 cube structures will be developed. You have to understand one thing, what do you mean by 6 here? 6 is nothing but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For each and every cube structures and the values, there are 6 columns representation is there. Okay, this is how we will discuss about the 3-dimension data. Now if you, this is the variable A, suppose every time we are passing in the A, now we will just pass in the B variable. Okay, so what I'm going to do, instead of finding it A, I just passing the B. Now again I am executing it. Okay, I'm finding. So see, 3-dimensional array. What do you mean by this 3-dimensional array? We will pass 3 parameters. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, see here again, same example. And if I want to find out the shape is nothing but 5, 2, 6. Here 6 is nothing but the columns. And if you observe how many rows are there for each and everything, 2 rows are there. And what do you mean by 5? 5 is nothing but a cube structures. Okay, if I execute this one, if I select this and if I execute it, see, the answer will be same. Now here the main task has been started. Okay, how can we access the element? Suppose here itself. Okay, now what I will do here is I will execute this one with the help of b variable. We can access. I'm executing it and I'm executing it also. I'm taking a above cell here. Okay, we will just import one values here. So how can we select it? Suppose if I want to access this 15th element. Okay, if I want to access this 15th element, I told you the first parameter is nothing but a cube parameter, and the second parameter is nothing but a row parameter, and the third parameter is nothing but a column parameter. So what I'm going to do here, I'm taking a b, the variable which is holding the array, and the first parameter is nothing but a cube parameter. Okay, how many cubes are there here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cubes are there. So I want to access the element 15. So 15 is in the cube, first cube, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so first cube I'm selecting, and what I'm selecting here, the row I'm selecting. So in the first cube, at which row it is there? 0th row only, no? So I'm taking the 0th row here, and what I'm doing here, and which column it is selected? 0, 1, and 2. So I'm taking here, and if I print here, if I execute it, see, 15 has been executed very successfully. So if I want to access it 34, suppose, again I'm telling you with one best example, very toughest example. So I'm taking an above cell here. Suppose it is the variable which is holding the array. Now listen very carefully. Suppose I want to access this 34. This 34 is in which cube? 0th cube, first cube, second cube. I told you the entire array list formats will work with the help of index positions only. So this, the first index position is nothing but 0. The second index position is nothing but 1, and the third index position is nothing but 2. So 34 is in third index position, which means the index position is 2. Okay. Now I want to, in the third index position, see here, this is a second, right? Sorry, this is a second index position. In the second index position, this first list is nothing but a 0, and the second is nothing but a 1 row, first row, which means the index positions individually. This is the first row, and this is the, sorry, this is the 0th row, and this is the first row. So my element is at 34. So I'm passing here 1. Now what I'm doing, I want to access this file now. Which file I want to access now? This keyword. So this particular keyword is in which column? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I didn't count with respect to 0. 0, 1, 2, 3. So if I pass 3 here, and if I execute it, definitely it is going to give me the output 34. Okay, this is how we will handle with the 3-dimension data. So this and all very same. Okay, till now we will discuss about some basic topics. Okay, I want to print the shape, this and all, very carefully. Okay, in this section, till it is till here it is okay. From tomorrow also we will discuss this advanced ones. Okay, enter another file is also there here, which tells the in depth of NumPy. It will take some time. NumPy, there is no issue, because we need to understand each and every logic in the NumPy. Okay, then only we will have a clear idea what is going behind for each and every NumPy. Okay, we will discuss in depth. I think we discuss for 3 dimensions. Tomorrow we'll discuss about the random states and square roots, sign functions, v stack, h stack is there, transfer functions, dialog functions, everything we'll discuss tomorrow. Okay. So guys, I think this is very clear for you. So the remaining topics I will tell you tomorrow. Okay.